Hey guys, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, Built on Faith Homestead, please do so. It really helps us out. Thank you so much for the overwhelming amount of comments and love towards us and our family. Yes. We appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Finally got some daylight. Can you say good morning? Stella, can you say good morning to the Built on Faith Homestead Leaving Egypt people? Don't be rude. Say hi.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound, oh, that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, oh, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see.
Gotta make sure everybody stays warm this morning. It is about 5:30 in the morning. We are running just a little bit late. Nothing too awful bad, but a little bit late this morning. We try to milk at about 5 and 5 on our Stella, the milk cow. So we're a little bit late this morning, but we thought we'd bring you guys along today, talk about the challenges and the blessings of living a life where you try to provide as much as you can, or try to be as self-sustainable as you can. Obviously, it all comes from the Lord. So let's talk about this morning what got us out here. I'm recording the first audio part of this because it is a little bitty house. I don't want to wake the kids up. Know what I mean? So the drink you seen me mixing up a while ago, that is what I drink almost every morning. It's got honey, raw honey, apple cider vinegar, just a little bit of salt and some ginger in it, turmeric, and that's it, I think. And then you mix it up and drink it, and it helps with my hands a bunch because my hands throb a lot, and it kind of helps with that. Helps me feel a little bit better in the mornings. Honestly, gives you just a little bit of boost. I don't know what's in it, but it does. If I drink it before bedtime, sometimes it's hard for me to go to sleep. Drink that, get the fire going, and of course, your morning prayers. Got that done, and now we are on our way to the milk barn. Obviously, it's still very dark this morning, so it will be by headlamp. It'll be kind of hard to do a whole lot of recording, but we'll go from there. Stay tuned with us if you're interested in kind of what it takes to do something like this. We appreciate you guys. Stay tuned. All right, well, it is just shy of 6:30 this morning, and we got Stella all milked out. For whatever reason, she doesn't give us near as much milk in the morning as she does of a night. The previous owners got they said they got 2 gallons a day off of her. Right now, we are getting about 1.5 gallons to 1.75 gallons. I don't think we've quite got the 2 gallons yet. But she was good. She's calming down, and I feel like it was successful this morning, so that's always good. And of course, now that I got her milked out, brought the milk in, Melissa will filter the milk and get it into the jars and get it chilling down. And while she's doing that, I will get the rest of the animals took care of. And then usually, by the time I get the rest of the animals took care of, she has already started breakfast. And if she hasn't, for whatever reason, kids have been crazy, whatever, then we'll go in and start breakfast. But that's just kind of how our mornings go. And this time of year, it's not even daylight yet. It's working on it, but it's not quite daylight yet. So, gotta do it by trusty headlamp. I go ahead and take care of the rest of the animals after the milking because I'm already out here. I'm already nasty. I've already been out in the mud, in the muck, in the mire, and so we'll just take care of the rest of our animal chores this morning and kind of see where the rest of the day takes us. Good morning, rabbits. Yeah, get the rabbits taken care of this morning as we go along. They're always good and happy to see you in the mornings. It's always fun messing with them first thing in the mornings. They come right up to you. It cracks me up. As soon as I stick my hand in the cage, they will come right up to me this morning, excited to see me. But our automatic waterer, we have reached the time of year where I don't use it much. It's been warm enough here lately I can, but I just fill the water every day, knock the ice out right now. It just makes it easier. In the wintertime, for sure, it makes it a lot easier. Morning, chickens. Morning, chickens. These are our laying birds. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can kind of make it out in the daylight that's coming up. Tarps are shredded on it now, but that is the Orpington chickens. If you guys have followed us for a while, remember we got those for Leah Joe's birthday. Roosters are starting to learn to crow. The escapees are on their way back that escaped out of the electric net the other day. Roosters hanging out with me this morning. Got the chickens fed up. Well, one of the things, since we got this milk cow, if she kicks a bunch of dirt in the bucket, or if she sticks her hoof in the bucket, or something like that, we go ahead and pour it on these soaked grains, and the chickens have went berserk over it. They absolutely love it. If we make butter, we save the whey that comes off of it and all of that. If we're gonna make cheese, all of that, we save all of that, dump it in our soaked grains, and feed it to the chickens, because we don't want to waste any bit of that milk if we can keep from it. So we're gonna see if they got any eggs this morning and get finished up here. Here's our newest birds. We got these with a gift card the church got us to Cackle Hatchery, and Luella and Leah picked out barred rocks and golden laced Wyandottes. And then these yellow birds, Grandma got them at Farm Fest. So they're growing nicely, getting some size on them, starting to look like chickens, which is good. And they're up and eating this morning as well. Finally got some daylight. Can you say good morning? Stella, can you say good morning to the Built on Faith Homestead Leaving Egypt people? Don't be rude, say hi. Yeah, don't be rude. Say hi. She did a good job milking this morning. I always try to give her a little extra love when she does, because we are new to this. We still don't know what we're doing. It takes me about 45 minutes of actual milking time when I do it by myself to get her milked out. I still just got to do it one hand at a time. Still learning how to do what I'm doing. As far as milking goes, I can milk with both hands for a little bit, and then I have to ease up. Told you guys my hands hurt all the time. This will either make it a whole lot better or a whole lot worse. I'm not sure which one, but it does. It takes me about 45 minutes or so. When me and my wife both do it, it only takes about 20 minutes. But sometimes you have to divide and conquer, and sometimes you can work together, just depending on the situation. And in the mornings with the kids and everything, it's just easier if I milk and Melissa takes care of the kids inside and gets breakfast going and all that stuff. Now I have Melissa here to join me, and we would like to talk about some of the hardships of homesteading. And part of the reason why we wanted to make this video, or trying to be self-sufficient, I almost hate to even call it homesteading because it's so different than what homesteading was originally, right? Yeah. But because part of my fear is that sometimes people watch YouTube videos and those kinds of things, and they just think it's all going to be peaches and cream, because a lot of the stuff you see on YouTube, that's what you see. You see like, that end of it. Oh, I want that. That looks cool. That looks awesome, right? How cool would that be, right? Which is right. It is. It's very cool. And so we're going to talk about some of the hardships and whether or not we think it's worth it, right? At least if you feel like you're called to do those things, right? So first thing I want to say is, if you start off like with animals and those kinds of things, like, they're going to die.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, multiple ones in one day.
Yeah.
That's been fun.
Or 1 week. right?
Yeah.
You just like go out there and you're like, oh, okay, well, I've
And you
lost
don't know why. You don't know what happened. Have you done your best to take care of them?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you got to think like, oh, I've lost a rabbit. Then you go up to the chickens. You're like, and I lost 3 chickens, and there's a big hole in my
And
fence.
it could literally be anything.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and the best you can do is just learn from it,
Yeah.
right? But it is, especially when you're first starting out, and if you're like us, where financial situations have been really, really tight in the past, especially, it takes the wind out of your sails sometimes.
It's very heartbreaking sometimes, especially if you like just bought the chickens.
Yeah.
And spent months working your way up to that.
Yes.
It's very heartbreaking.
It is. You put in the work, you build the coop, you build the fencing, whatever, right? And then it is just, you go out there and they're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, poop is a mainstay. Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So, your chicken eggs going to have some poop on them. I don't care how clean you keep everything. Every once in a while, you're going to have some poopy eggs.
Yeah.
We got the milk cow.
If you have cows, you have poop.
Yeah. We're constantly fighting poop. Our kids should have an immune system like Fort Knox by the time it's all done, right?
Yeah.
On top of that, we have a wood stove. And I don't know how much bark our kids have eaten over the years.
That's
High
the
in
downfall
fiber.
of a wood stove, is you're always sweeping, aren't you? Yeah.
Always working.
Those of you that have one, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, struggle's real, as they say, right? However, that wood heat's nice. And it spoils you. And it like sinks to your bones and helps you not ache. And it puts me to sleep. Yeah. And it is probably our favorite evening time activity as a family.
Yes.
When we're all together of an evening and we get the wood stove going, you got a little bit of flame going there and the heat coming off of
Where
it.
our wood stove is now, it's like right in front of where we sit in the living room now.
It is our TV.
Yes.
Our
we
wood
don't have a
stove-
TV.
Our wood stove is our TV.
In our old house, it was kind of around the corner.
Yeah.
More so towards the kitchen area than the living room, so we
Yes.
couldn't really see it very much, so.
And it didn't have a glass door.
No.
This one's got a glass
I
door.
love this one.
Spoiled us,
Yes.
right? It is our what I call our luxury spin for sure.
I'm very thankful for it.
Yeah. And so, and you got early mornings and you got late nights and things break down and you go out there and everything's been running smooth. The next thing you know, something's broke or the fence is messed up. Some animals messed the fence up or all of a sudden some, animal's sick or something like that. Like, it is just part of it. And the only thing you can really do, as far as I know, is make the mistakes. Try not to make the mistakes, obviously. But as you make the mistakes, just try to learn from them. Try not to make the same mistake a whole bunch of times. Be willing to think outside the box. Yeah, be willing to be different. Be willing to think about how folks used to do this 150, 200 years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Use things you have to fix things,
Yeah. You will become a scrap pile king and queen. Right? It's like you don't throw lumber away for like anything.
Like actual useful things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's usable lumber at all, I'm talking, a foot long or longer, like it's probably staying around. Because I can always find something to use it for.
Yeah.
Right? And if you're like us, we live 20 minutes at least from anywhere one way to get any sort of building supplies or anything like that. Right? So you just have to learn to use what you got.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. There's going to be times you're going to give up.
And we're a pastoring family.
Yeah.
My husband's a pastor, and some of you probably already know that, but there's some really late nights sometimes, and it's really hard.
It is.
Sometimes and we also have 3 children. It takes a little bit to get them ready for bed and go through that whole deal, get them settled down, and then plus we have our animals that, if we've been sometimes at church events or something like that. Sometimes if it's the church service or something's later, we can milk before, which is nice. But if not, then it doesn't matter. Like we still milk when we get home, I think.
Yeah. So far.
Right now, that may change. I don't know, but
yeah,
it's hard.
It is tough. And speaking of the kids, I am trying desperately to slow down enough that they actually learn what they're doing because I know that it will help them in the long run. But it slows you down when you're out there taking care of animals and those kinds of things.
And a couple of our children are still very small. One of them just learning to walk. And so they can't always go outside every time, with us right now.
Yeah.
We do take them outside quite a bit, though, and let them do chores and stuff and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Let them do things that they can learn from. Mm-hmm. Try to teach them best we can. One thing, and I hadn't told Melissa this, so this may come as a surprise. I don't know. But one thing I was thinking about when we were thinking about this video is if you are a married couple, like one of you is probably, depending on how deep you dive into trying to be self-sustainable as possible, one of you at least is probably going to have to stay home and work from home. And if you need extra money, you may have to try to find a way to make money off your homestead. Right? Whatever it may be, whether it's YouTube videos or it's selling rabbit manure for garden fertilizer, or selling eggs or something, right? Like you're probably making crafts. You're probably going to have to do something. And I'm not saying you absolutely have to, right? You can probably find a way where you can both work outside the home. But quite simply, probably one of you might have to think about staying at home and working from home, right? Some way, shape, or form. Just because there's when it comes to, so it's not just like planting a garden, right? It's picking all of that stuff and canning all of that stuff and preserving all of that stuff, and that all takes time, right? Now, whenever I say this and you're thinking, well, we cannot financially afford for one of us to stay home. Maybe not. I'm not gonna sit here and say yes you can, right? Maybe not, right? But I think you'd be shocked how little you can actually live on, and I think you would be shocked how much you save by one of you staying at home. As far as like, we very rarely eat out. We have been getting rid of disposable things and using reusable, washable type things, and
saves quite a bit of money.
Saves quite a bit of money, right? It is a process, but you probably will notice that the financial burden isn't as bad as you think it is after you kind of get into the swing of it, right?
Yeah.
But more than likely, one of you may have to stay home to make it work, right?
Yeah.
And you tell me, do you think I'm wrong in that?
No.
No, you don't think so? Yeah.
It takes a lot of work.
It does.
A lot of time, and if you're literally trying to be self-sustainable, so I said we don't have a TV. We don't sit down very much because there's not a lot of time to sit down, but it's for a good reason. You're taking care of yourself and your family and trying to eat cleaner, right? So, especially like in the summertime, it's a busy time. And now this next summer, we're going to add milking to it.
Yeah.
So like, after milking the cow, we have to pick weeds in the garden when the sun goes down because it's cooler.
Yeah.
And make sure it's watered and taken care of, and because Garden 101, when you take the weeds and all that out, it grows better, right?
Yeah.
So it's a very tedious thing, and then
then you
eat, and then you get the kids ready for bed, and then next day you may have to can, and it's a lot of work, and so you have to be prepared for that mentally and physically.
Yeah. And we're not trying to scare you. We're trying to bring you the reality of it. So Melissa homeschools her kids. I pastor full time. I do work from home, but I'm doing my job most of the time that I am home, right?
Yeah.
And so it's not that you can't find the time to work stuff in and all that kind of stuff, but just be ready. Be ready to have some late nights and early mornings, right? But it has been
such a blessing.
It is.
Like, even though
it's a good natural. Just transition into it, right? Is it worth it, right? To us, it absolutely is.
It's been so, even like getting up early and stuff. I get up early enough now to where I kind of have some, I hate to say me time because I just don't like that anymore.
Yeah.
Like that phrasing. But I get some time where I can, you can get your pray and I have a morning drink that I drink, which you may see in this video.
It's the same one
in this video, pretty much. Yeah. And just watch the sun come up, and it's just very peaceful, and God brings a lot of joy to me anyway in this.
So when you have 3 kids, being able to put your day's clothes on without a kid pulling at your dress or your breeches or whatever sure does make it a little easier, right?
Yeah.
I get that. So for me, it is worth it. Obviously, trying to provide as good and healthful food as you can. I don't know if you guys have seen our other videos, the one on the lettuce, the one on the cattle and all those things. But I want to say not just the fact that they're using those things for that stuff, but also if you read down through the comments, there's a lot of way more informative comments than our video was even about the other things they're putting in food, and people's worried about chemicals and those kinds of things, and that's all stuff that we worry about and we think about. And we're not perfect, guys. We still have a long ways to go to get away from some of that stuff, but we're working on it, right?
Yeah.
It's a step by
Closer
step by
than
step.
we were last year by a long shot, I think.
By a long shot, yeah. and for me, it's worth it in that. It's worth it for my relationship with the Lord. I love in the mornings when I'm out there milking and just thinking about the things of the Lord, and praying, and it is just such a blessing. And praying, like you said, before everybody gets up and those kinds of things, to have that quiet time with the Lord, not having the TV and being closer as a family and doing things together as a family, and our kids breaking beans and helping with animals and all of that.
And we get to be with our kids, and that's been a blessing.
Yeah, we actually like them.
Yeah.
I would even say love them.
Yeah.
We
and
actually.
sometimes there's hard days, guys. There is, but those little things like that, like breaking beans and different things, they'll always remember that. They'll always remember Stella the milk cow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's something that you can't take away.
So to wrap this video up, is it easy?
No.
But the old saying, like, nothing worth doing is ever easy. There's a lot of truth to that statement, right? It's not easy. It's hard. And it's hard work.
A lot of perseverance.
Yeah. Some days you're going to hurt, and the alarm's going to go off.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, nope, not today.
And we've slept in before, and sometimes you may need
sometimes
to.
You have
what
to.
I mean?
Yeah. And it is what it is sometimes.
Yeah.
But, yes, it's hard. It's frustrating. It's aggravating. However, the sacrifice it takes is completely worth it.
Yeah.
Completely worth it. And I want to finish this video. You got anything else you're going to say?
I don't think so.
I want to finish this video by saying this. Once again, all of the food, all of the homesteading, all of the non-GMO organic food in the world won't save your soul.
No.
It just won't.
No.
Hopefully, you have, the Bible said, make your peace call and election sure. Hopefully you have made your peace call and election sure. Hopefully you know where it is you're going to spend eternity. If you do not know the Lord, if you have never been saved, if you've never come to know Jesus, the Bible says today is the day of salvation. He loves you enough that he died on the cross for you, knowing exactly who you would be today, watching a crazy red-bearded hillbilly and his very pretty wife on YouTube, right? And he loved you enough that he died for you on the cross.
And you know what? When you get that right, and you want to, maybe you want to take on homesteading or trying to get to where you want to be, it makes, when your soul is right, it makes all that much more joyful and enjoyable, brighter.
So the Bible says where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty, there's freedom, right? Yeah. Whenever you understand that you aren't here to live like the rest of the world, but you are here to serve the Lord Jesus, right? When you're here to serve God, it helps break you out of that mold of living in Egypt.
Yeah.
Which is why the Rumble page is called Leaving Egypt.
Yeah.
Because you may have 3 meals a day, you may have a roof over your head, but you're not free.
Yeah.
And if you'll read that story carefully, they wanted to go back to Egypt, back to their slavery, because they had roof, they had they had the necessities, if you will.
They questioned.
Yeah. And so it helps you with that part, and the Bible means it whenever it says seek first the kingdom of God and the rest of these things will be added unto you, right? Guys, we appreciate you watching. Your guys' support has been overwhelming,
It has been.
humbling. We are praying that we don't mess this up and that we just keep shining the Lord's light the best that we can. And we appreciate you guys. Thank you guys.
Bye.